Jack Harmon watched the dust swirl across his boots as he stood at the edge of the crowd. The New Mexico sun beat down on the gathering, but no one dared seek shade, not when the Vraxians were conducting their monthly tribute. 7 years. 7 years since the ships had darkened Earth's skies. 7 years since humanity learned they weren't alone in the universe. 7 years since they learned just how weak they truly were. Jack adjusted his worn leather jacket, careful to keep his prosthetic arm hidden. The metal limb was a reminder of the invasion's early days, when he'd still believed humans could fight back. Before, the Vraxians had crushed that hope with brutal efficiency. "Uncle Jack, they're coming," whispered Lily, pressing closer to his side. At 16, his niece had grown up in a world of alien occupation, yet somehow maintained a fire the aliens couldn't extinguish. The crowd parted as Commander Krell strode into the town square. His scaled skin gleamed purple under the sun, the ceremonial armor of the Vraxian Dominion catching the light. 4 guards flanked him, plasma rifles held ready. "Humans of Settlement 42, Krell's voice boomed through his translator. "Present your cultural tributes." One by one, the townspeople stepped forward. A handmade quilt, a wooden carving, small, meaningless items that the Vraxians collected to study human behavior, to better understand their livestock. Jack felt Lily tense beside him. "Don't," he whispered, but she was already moving forward, her chin raised in defiance. In her hands was the bow she'd spent weeks crafting in secret, believing that humans needed to remember how to make weapons, even primitive ones. "What is this?" Krell bent his towering frame to examine Lily's offering. "A bow, sir, from our history." Lily's voice didn't waver. The alien commander took the bow, turning it over in his clawed hands. The crowd held its breath. Then Krell laughed, a harsh sound that cut through the silence. "You bring me a weapon?" He held the bow high for all to see. "This is what humans think can harm us?" With a single motion, he snapped the bow in half. The crack echoed across the square. Lily flinched but didn't back away. "It's part of our heritage." Krell's translator flashed as he leaned close to her face. "Perhaps you need re-education, young human. The camps have space for those who don't understand their place." Jack felt something stir inside him, a cold, familiar sensation he hadn't felt in years. The neural implants in his spine, dormant since the invasion, suddenly pulsed with faint electricity. "Take her," Krell ordered his guards. "Wait." Jack stepped forward, his voice cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. Krell turned, irritated by the interruption. "Another volunteer for re-education?" "The girl is my responsibility," Jack said, moving closer. "I'll take her punishment." The commander studied Jack, his alien eyes narrowing. "You? An old human with one arm?" Jack reached for his prosthetic limb, twisting a hidden panel open. The crowd gasped. Even Lily looked confused. "Uncle Jack, what are you doing?" From the compartment in his arm, Jack pulled out what appeared to be a simple metal hilt, nothing more than a short cylinder that fit perfectly in his palm. Krell laughed again, the sound echoing off the adobe buildings surrounding them. "Another primitive weapon? You humans never learn." Jack's thumb found the activation switch as the first guard reached for Lily. "No," Jack said quietly. "We learn just fine." The metal hilt in Jack's hand hummed to life. A blade of shimmering blue energy extended from it, vibrating at a frequency that made the air around it blur. The Vraxian guards stepped back, their weapons raised. "Impossible," Krell hissed. "That technology was destroyed." Jack moved with a speed that didn't match his weathered appearance. One moment he stood protectively in front of Lily. The next, he was beside the first guard. The molecular blade sliced through the alien's armor like it was paper. Purple blood sprayed across the dusty ground. "Run!" Jack shouted to the crowd. "Everyone get to safety!" The townspeople scattered as the remaining guards opened fire. Jack dodged with inhuman precision, his movements fluid and calculated. Each plasma bolt missed him by inches as he closed the distance. Memories flooded back to Jack. The secret military base, the surgeries, the neural implants that connected his brain directly to his muscles. Project Lazarus, the super soldier program created for a war no one believed would come. Uncle Jack? Lily stood frozen, watching as her quiet, one-armed uncle transformed into something else entirely. 2 more guards fell to Jack's blade. Their armor, designed to withstand modern weapons, offered no protection against technology from humanity's last desperate effort to fight back. Krell backed away, his clawed hand reaching for a device on his belt. "The humans have weapons. Send reinforcements." Jack lunged forward, but not fast enough. Krell activated the distress beacon before the blade severed his arm. The commander howled in pain, falling to his knees. "How?" Krell demanded, clutching his wounded limb. "You were defeated. Broken." Jack stood over him, the blue blade humming. "We were never broken. Just waiting." With a final strike, Jack ended the commander's life. The square fell silent except for the panicked breathing of the townspeople who hadn't fled. "Everyone who wants to live, follow me now," Jack ordered, his voice carrying the authority of his military past. "They'll send more. We have minutes, not hours." Lily approached him cautiously. "Uncle Jack, what just happened? What are you?" Jack's eyes softened as he looked at his niece. "I'll explain everything, but not here." He turned to the gathered survivors. "There's a bunker 5 miles east of town. I've been preparing it since they came." 20 minutes later, Jack led the group through a hidden entrance in the side of a mesa. Inside, the bunker opened up into a large chamber filled with supplies, weapons, and technology that most humans hadn't seen since the invasion. "You've been planning this," Lily said, looking around in awe. Jack nodded, setting his blade on a metal table. "Project Lazarus. I was one of 30 soldiers enhanced with experimental tech. When the Vraxians hit us, they targeted our bases first. I was presumed dead. The implants went dormant. Until today," Lily finished, "until they threatened you." Jack activated a computer terminal that hummed to life. The blade was just the beginning. The screen filled with data, locations, signals, encrypted messages. Jack's eyes widened as he processed what he was seeing. "What is it?" Lily asked. "I'm not the only one waking up." Jack pointed to blinking dots appearing across a global map. "The others are out there. The Vraxians thought they killed us all." A sudden pain shot through Jack's head. He gripped the edge of the table, his vision blurring as his neural implants fully reactivated. In his mind, he heard voices, distant but clear. His fellow soldiers calling out across a network the aliens never discovered. "Uncle Jack?" Lily grabbed his arm, her face filled with concern. Jack straightened, his eyes now glowing with the same blue energy as his blade. "The war isn't over," he said. "It's just beginning." 3 weeks passed in the underground bunker. Jack transformed the frightened townspeople into a fighting force. His enhanced body moved with precision as he taught them to fight, to survive, to resist. "Again," Jack ordered as Lily practiced disarming a much larger opponent. She moved with growing confidence, using leverage instead of strength. The man hit the training mat hard. "Good," Jack said. "You're learning fast." Lily wiped sweat from her forehead. "Not fast enough. The Vraxians are still out there." Jack had noticed this about his niece, her natural talent for strategy and combat. While others struggled with basic techniques, Lily absorbed everything he taught her, asking questions that surprised even him. The bunker's alarm system blared suddenly. Everyone froze. "Movement on the surface," Jack announced, checking the security feed. "But not Vraxian." On the screen, a thin figure in tattered clothes stumbled toward their hidden entrance. Jack grabbed his blade and headed for the surface, Lily close behind despite his objection. The desert sun blinded them momentarily as they emerged from the bunker. The figure collapsed 20 yards away. "Cover me," Jack told Lily, handing her a pulse rifle. As Jack approached, he realized the figure wasn't human. It was a Vraxian, but smaller than the warriors they'd faced. Its purple scales were dull, and it wore no armor. "Don't move," Jack commanded, activating his blade. The alien looked up with large, frightened eyes. "Please," it said in perfect English, no translator needed. "I seek asylum." Back in the bunker, the Vraxian sat surrounded by suspicious humans. It called itself Vex, a scientist forced to work on the harvesting project. "They're not here for conquest," Vex explained, hands trembling. "Earth is rich in element 310, rare in our galaxy. They're extracting it from your planet's core." "What happens when they're done?" Lily asked. Vex's eyes met hers. "The planet collapses. They've done it before." The room erupted in angry voices. Jack raised his hand for silence. "How long do we have?" 6 months, maybe less," Vex replied. "The main facility is in what you called the Pacific Ocean. I can help you stop it." Jack connected with other Lazarus soldiers through his neural implants that night. 17 had survived worldwide. Each was building a resistance cell. Each reported the same thing: Vraxian harvesting operations were accelerating. "We need to hit the main facility," Jack told the group the next morning. "Vex knows a weakness in their shields." Lily stepped forward with a tactical display she'd created. "If we coordinate with the other resistance cells, we can create diversions here, here, and here." She pointed to locations across the map. "Then strike the facility with everything we have." Jack nodded with pride. In just weeks, Lily had become his second-in-command, her strategic mind impressing even the former soldiers among them. Their first mission came 2 days later, a raid on a Vraxian supply depot. Jack, Lily, and 6 others moved through the night, using Vex's codes to bypass security. "Remember," Jack whispered as they approached, "we need those power cells. No unnecessary risks." The raid went perfectly until they reached the storage area. The door opened to reveal a squad of Vraxian guards waiting for them. "Ambush!" Jack shouted, activating his blade. The team scattered for cover as plasma fire erupted around them. Jack cut down 3 guards while Lily and the others returned fire from behind cargo containers. "Someone told them we were coming," Lily yelled over the chaos. Jack's enhanced senses detected movement behind them. He turned to see more guards entering through a rear door, cutting off their escape. "We're surrounded," he realized with sudden clarity. His eyes scanned the team members' faces, looking for signs of betrayal. Someone had warned the Vraxians. Someone in their group was a traitor. A plasma bolt struck near Lily's position, showering her with sparks. Jack moved to protect her as Vraxian elite guards closed in from both sides. "Any ideas?" Lily asked, her rifle's charge nearly depleted. Jack gripped his blade tighter. "Just one, but you're not going to like it." Jack grabbed Lily's arm and pulled her close. "When I move, run for the ventilation shaft." He pressed his blade into her hand. "Take this. Get back to the others." "I'm not leaving you," Lily protested. "You have to lead if I don't make it back." Jack's eyes glowed blue as his implants pushed his systems to maximum. "Now!" Jack burst from cover, drawing the Vraxian fire. His enhanced body moved faster than human eyes could track, becoming a blur as he tore through the first line of guards. Lily hesitated for only a second before racing toward the small opening in the wall. "Go!" Jack shouted as he grappled with an elite guard. Plasma bolts sizzled past him, burning holes in the metal walls. Lily crawled into the shaft just as Jack was surrounded. The last thing she saw was her uncle fighting like a man possessed, buying her time with every blow. 3 days passed with no word from Jack. Lily paced the bunker, the molecular blade hanging at her side. The resistance members watched her with uncertain eyes. "We need to assume he's been captured," said Mitch, a former police officer. "Or worse." Lily shook her head. "He's alive. I can feel it." Vex approached cautiously. If he was taken, they would bring him to the flagship. High Commander Draz would want to interrogate a Lazarus soldier personally. "Then that's where we'll go," Lily decided. Impossible, Vex said. The flagship is in orbit, heavily guarded. Lily unfolded the plans they'd been developing for the Pacific Facility attack. We stick to the original plan, but I'll lead a small team to infiltrate the transport station. We can use their own shuttle to reach the flagship. Miles above Earth, Jack regained consciousness in a sterile cell. His prosthetic arm had been removed, and restraints bound his remaining limbs. His head throbbed as his implants tried to reconnect to a network that was too distant. The cell door slid open. A Vraxian, larger than any Jack had seen, entered. His scales were deep crimson, marked with gold insignia. "Lazarus Soldier," the alien said, "I am High Commander Draz." Jack said nothing, conserving his strength. "Your neural implants are fascinating," Draz continued, circling Jack. "Did you know we came to Earth specifically for them? Your planet was just a bonus." Jack's eyes narrowed. "What?" "We detected your Project Lazarus 7 years ago. The technology you humans developed is unique in the galaxy." Draz leaned closer. "The ability to merge machine and biology so seamlessly. We need it." "To build better soldiers," Jack spat. "To survive," Draz corrected. "Our species is dying. Your implants hold the key to our evolution." Back on Earth, Lily led her team through the Vraxian transport station. Vex's codes got them past the outer security, but guards patrolled the landing bay where the shuttles waited. "We need a diversion," Lily whispered. Before anyone could respond, explosions rocked the far side of the facility. Alarms blared as guards rushed toward the blast. "That's not us," said Carlos, one of her team members. Lily smiled grimly. "No, but we'll use it. Move." They sprinted across the bay to the nearest shuttle. Vex worked quickly to override the controls while Lily kept watch. On the flagship, Jack was brought to a laboratory filled with Vraxian scientists. In the center stood a massive machine, pulsing with energy. "Your implants contain a unique signature," Draz explained. "A kill switch that can destroy not just you, but any connected system." Jack struggled against his restraints. "You want to remove it." "We want to use it," Draz corrected. "Modified to target our enemies instead of ourselves. The ultimate weapon." A scientist approached with a neural probe. Jack felt fear for the first time since his reawakening. If they extracted the kill switch protocol, they would have a weapon that could wipe out entire species with a signal. An alarm suddenly blared through the laboratory. Draz turned as a subordinate rushed in. "High Commander, humans have boarded the ship." Jack felt a surge of hope. Lily. It had to be. Draz faced Jack with cold fury. "It seems your niece is as stubborn as you." He drew a ceremonial blade. "Perhaps I should greet her personally." Jack closed his eyes, focusing all his remaining energy on his dormant implants. There was one option left. Activate the kill switch himself. It would destroy the flagship and everyone on it, including him. But it would save Lily. It would save Earth. As the scientists prepared their equipment, Jack made his choice. Jack closed his eyes and activated the kill switch sequence in his neural implants. Pain shot through his body as the system began its countdown. 30 seconds until complete system overload. "Something's happening," a Vraxian scientist shouted, pointing to the monitors. "His implants are surging." Draz grabbed Jack by the throat. "What have you done?" Jack smiled through the pain. "Ended your mission." But as the countdown reached 15 seconds, Jack felt something unexpected. A connection forming. Not to the other Lazarus soldiers, but to Lily. The familial DNA they shared created a bridge his implants recognized. With his last conscious thought, Jack redirected the data flow. Instead of simply destroying the flagship, he transferred his combat knowledge, tactical experience, and neural patterns into that connection. "Find her," Draz ordered his guards as alarms blared throughout the ship. "Find the human girl." Lily moved through the flagship's corridors with her team, following Vex's directions to the laboratory level. Suddenly, she stumbled against the wall, her mind flooded with images, knowledge, and skills she'd never learned. "Lily!" Carlos grabbed her arm. "What's wrong?" She straightened, her eyes now glowing with the same blue light as Jack's. "I know what to do now." The flagship shuddered as explosions tore through its lower decks. Jack's kill switch had triggered, but instead of destroying the entire ship, it had targeted the propulsion systems. "We're falling," Vex shouted, checking a terminal. "The ship is being pulled into Earth's atmosphere." Lily activated Jack's blade, which now felt like an extension of her arm. "We need to reach the control room. We can direct the crash into the Pacific facility." She moved with Jack's precision and speed, cutting down Vraxian guards that blocked their path. Each movement felt natural, as if she'd trained for years instead of weeks. The flagship plummeted toward Earth, breaking apart as it entered the atmosphere. Lily led her team to the bridge where they found Draz preparing to evacuate. "The human girl," he snarled, drawing his ceremonial blade. "Where is your uncle?" Lily felt Jack's presence in her mind, guiding her movements. "He's here," she said, raising the molecular blade. "With me." She attacked with a skill that matched any Lazarus soldier. Draz was strong, but Lily had Jack's experience and her own natural talent. The Vraxian commander fell back, purple blood seeping from wounds in his armor. "Vex, set the course," Lily shouted as she fought. The defector worked frantically at the navigation controls. "Done! Impact with the Pacific facility in 2 minutes." Draz lunged at Lily, his blade slicing her arm. She didn't flinch, countering with a strike that pierced his chest. "You've lost," she told him as he collapsed. "We will return," Draz gasped. "The Dominion spans galaxies." "And we'll be waiting," Lily promised. The team raced to the escape pods as the flagship broke through the clouds above the Pacific. Below, the massive harvesting facility rose from the ocean, its energy shields glowing against the setting sun. The impact shook the planet. The flagship crashed directly into the facility's core, triggering a chain reaction that destroyed both structures in a blinding explosion. From the escape pod, Lily watched the fireball rise into the darkening sky. She felt Jack's presence fading in her mind, but not disappearing completely. "Uncle Jack," she whispered. A warm sensation filled her thoughts. Not words, but feelings. Pride, hope, and determination. 6 months later, Lily stood before the United Resistance Forces. Representatives from cells around the world had gathered in the rebuilt New Mexico town. In her hand, Jack's blade hummed with energy. "The Vraxians will return," she told the assembly. "But Earth is no longer defenseless." Behind her, a fleet of ships rose into the sky, human vessels built with recovered alien technology. Each carried soldiers trained in the Lazarus combat techniques that Lily had shared. As she boarded the command ship, Lily felt Jack's presence stir in her mind. "Ready?" she asked silently. The answer came not in words but in certainty. Together, they would take the fight to the stars.